All right, hello everybody. I am Ino from Ino's Realm and the Split Screeners, and today we've got a very special guest, Prismatic Blaze. We have Matt Hill and Prismatic Blaze, my fellow streamer. How's it going, Matt?
Hey, great to be here, fellas. This is so cool. I've never actually, had a podcast interview with full on avatars, and you guys are this is so cool. So thank you
Yeah,
so much. Very awesome. I'll probably keep going like this, going, whoa, they're really real, aren't
it's like are they real people? So I want to start off this by saying that Blaze here is probably the best Ed impressionist next to the man himself, you. That's actually how we met, was through our
Whoa.
love of Ed, Ed, and Eddy. So, Blaze,
Seriously,
why don't you give him an example, Blaze?
lay it on us,
Well,
buddy.
so it's funny.
Let's hear
It's
what you
funny.
got.
Actually, it was funny. So I'm gonna share a little story about this and how Eno and I actually met. So I was just hanging out in a social platforming VR server thing, probably about 5 years ago, and so I was just showcasing some impressions that I can do. And at one time, like I just ended up duplicating myself and had four of your character
There
Matt,
are
Ed,
four Eds just
and
surrounding
there were
me.
four Eds
Oh, no.
surrounding Eno, and I go, "It's the apocalypse!" Yeah, because I am Ed.
And there was born. Whoa, that you know what? I wouldn't have. I had my if I had my eyes closed, I would have been like, "Whoa, where did that Ed guy come from? Holy moly,
You
that's
Oh
should
pretty
yeah.
darn good." Man.
you should do the what
Pretty
was it,
darn good.
the second coming one, Blaze, that whole
Oh.
shtick.
And so then
It
this
looks
like
like.
Ed moment bonded you guys forever, or what?
Yeah, like that's how we met,
Oh
because I was
yeah.
like, he does these Ed impressions. I'm
Uh,
like, yeah, I actually have met Matt Hill, and like I know the guy.
And he wanted
that's
me to do
awesome.
the second coming. It goes, "It looks like the head of the monster from I Was a Teenage Appetizer from Planet Sushi, the second coming."
I love it so much, man.
Well done. Yeah, I give you my Ed approval, 100%.
Yeah, thank you very much.
That's
From
a
an Ed to an
beauty.
Ed. It's like your Ed voice coming from a deer. That makes it just that much better.
Yeah, I know. It's just like even it's a bit creepy. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, yeah. Oh,
I mean, I wouldn't be the first time. It would not be the first time I've actually been.
people have nightmares.
I've had people actually like think that I was actually. I'm like, no, 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 no. I'm not Matt Hill. By no means am I not Matt Hill.
That guy's a jerk. He owes me money. That's what you get. Just always use that line, you know? It's like, yeah, he comes across being so nice, he owes me money.
Need a quarter.
Yeah, exactly.
Stupid bird stole
Uh,
my quarter. Flew away with it. Stupid.
oh, gentlemen, nice work. This is
Yeah,
awesome. Well done.
and I'm just
Well
really
done.
happy that you're here, man. But so we're
Oh,
it's going to be more
that's
of a
great.
casual conversation for us, but we do have
Yeah,
some interview
please.
questions as well. So my first
Sure.
question for you, Matt, is you and Sam Vincent are often cast together in productions. Is that intentional because of your friendship, or is that like a production company thing?
Oh, that is what I look at is once you've been bonded with, with say an Ed or in this case, see me and Sammy, it's like written into every single contract for the rest of time. It's just how it works. It's like he has to work on that show. He has to also work on that. I'm totally kidding. But if we could have it that way, it would be amazing. But we've been very fortunate. Me and Sammy Boy have had a lot of shows that we've gotten to, uh, do a lot of crazy stuff on. It's been awesome. He's one of my best friends, and very very honored to know that man.
And
And
just
and
seeing
we're
your
hoping
dynamic
that
is great.
oh
Oh
well,
yeah.
that's what happens, right? Like when you know somebody because you've kind of like gone through it, right? As we've done. I mean, obviously with Ed, Ed and Eddy, I think for real, like the three Eds, because we recorded each episode, it was the three of us, and then the rest of the cast was so they split up the day, right? Half the cast in the morning, half the cast in the after, or the Eds in the afternoon, and the rest of the cast in the morning. Because I think we only did one episode where we recorded everybody at the same. I think it was like maybe episode 1 or 2, and we went so overtime that the producers are like, yeah, no, you got 4 hours to do an episode. Get them out of there, right? So, because it was when you get 3 Eds in the room, it's just crazy. It's mayhem, and then you have the rest of the other characters that are absolutely insanely amazing, and what made the show come together. I mean, there you go, right? I just wish that we had more where they, even if it was like for the start of every single season, they went, you know what? All right, here's a little bit extra budget, you guys. We'll record everybody together, because when we did those, few times, oh my god, guys, it was insane. It was so
So
much.
you actually got to be in the booth together?
With the whole, like it was officially, I think were twice early on in the first season. We recorded all the characters. So I mean, we literally, that's like, I don't know how many characters. It's like 8 characters.
Yeah.
And we were all
Yeah.
we were all in there doing our thing. But they quickly realized that one, it went completely off the rails because we were all having way too much fun. And like I said, the budget as well, right? They had to answer to the bean counters.
The overlords.
So yeah, and well, it was just more efficient for time, right?
Oh yeah.
And then as we went
yeah.
along, I was actually quite grateful that we did record it that way, because it just allowed the 3 Eds to bond in a way that maybe we wouldn't have bonded if we were sort of like the entire cast together. I mean, I don't know. Who knows? We'll never know.
So, Blaze, do you want to go ahead and ask your question?
Well, next year, Gundam Seed is releasing a sequel called Mobile Suit Gundam Seed Freedom. If approached, would you like to reprise your role as Kira Yamato?
Yeah, if they phone me, I would totally do that. Absolutely. I thought playing him was a blast. The thing is, I have a feeling that they're probably recording it somewhere else, because as of right now, nobody's contacted me or my agent or anything like that. So
Yeah.
So unfortunately, Kira Yamato is going to be played by some hack. No, I'm kidding. Everybody does their best. It's like, how does he really feel about that?
They're on the phone with me.
Sorry.
Matt, it was just, I loved your role as Kira.
Yeah, it was. Hey, thank you, man. Yeah, no, it's been usually getting to play a guy like him who's pretty serious, I thought was pretty fun too, because a lot of my characters are kind of not that. They're way on the other side of the spectrum, and so it was neat to play a character that's kind of like a bona fide serious, wants the hero that just wants to save the world and
with a little bit of romance too.
Heck yeah,
a little bit of romance. So good. I keep realizing I'm looking at myself twice. I have 2 screens. I'm over there and I'm over here.
Because you got me over here, over here too. Hey, it just makes it all that better. Because technically you're in the world with me, just right over here.
Whoa.
It's like I can just reach over,
so
poke.
Cool. Oh, and I have a delay too. It's really cool. See, I'll just drop out of the interview. I'll just be doing hand things.
It's like,
oh, I'll stay with you. I'll stay focused, fellas. I'll stay focused.
All right, Matt. So, tell us a little bit about Run for One Planet.
Thanks for asking. Run for One Planet was another beautiful love in my life, and I got to use my love of running, and also then meeting people, and at the same time sharing this beautiful message, which was inspiring environmental action for kids big and small, to make simple choices for themselves and for a healthier planet. And so myself and my former partner Stephanie, we ran 11,000 miles on our feet, from all the way across Canada. We started May 4th, 2008, and went all the way across Canada to the eastern seaboard, and then hit America. And when was that? Like in October of 2008. And then we went all the way down around the perimeter of your wonderful, beautiful country. And then did this big one looper. And it took us 369 days to do across the country,
Oof.
down across the other side of the country,
Oof.
across the bottom. We were so close to Mexico for that whole, like for the southern portion, which was so cool. Like same thing. It was like we were almost like touching the wall at points because, mile zero is like right there, and so it was really cool. 369 days changed my life. Um, I always was a huge believer of the power of the human spirit being alive and well. Um, and this even confirmed it even more with the fact that people were stoked to see us because not only had we run there, but then when I finally let these cartoon characters that I was gifted to play um, use as part of our way to inspire and be able to connect with them, right?
Yeah.
So it was
Yeah.
like it was amazing to be able to go into a school and have like like 5,000 kids, and I'd be like, hey everybody, who wants to save the planet with Ed and Sparkly Stephanie, right? She was be and literally 5,000 kids and their teachers would lose their mind, because all of a sudden Ed was part of the presentation, and then thankfully because I'd been gifted with being Raphael in the Ninja Turtles franchise, it was another way to be able to connect with them with our message, right? So, I just got this beautiful gift of not only running every day, but then being able to meet people who, like time and time again said, "Oh my God, thank you for helping me get through a tough childhood," or "Thank you for, inspiring me to make a better choice for myself and for the earth." And just these beautiful one-on-one conversations with people that uh it literally changed my life, you guys. So grateful,
Sounds
And for
fantastic.
what it's worth, Matt, like you changed my life for the better because on those days where I just didn't really have anything or like really have anybody to talk to when I was younger, like Ed Eddn Eddy was my constant companion. Like I could find imagination and love within the cul-de-sac.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Same.
yeah. It was that was where I realized fellas was, and thanks for saying that, by the way, because it was it really was that confirmation inside myself that I'd always been very respectful of the fact that I was, say, chosen to do these parts. So I never made light of it because I was so stoked. Because being an actor since I was 13, your modus operandus is you want to keep working, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then, so I was always grateful for working, but I didn't realize until like that we got out on, say, the Run for One Planet Highway, as I was saying, where it like the depth of the conversation and like that with teachers and kids saying thank you for choosing this character because it helped me believe in myself. It helped me get through a tough childhood. I remember one school where the principal, which was it was unbelievable because he comes up to me after, because all the kids in our presentation, they would basically get in line and wait till we had gone through, and so we'd sign their arms, we would sign like posters, we would sign our action challenge and things like that. And this one school where this the tallest man I've ever seen in my life, I heard later, was he used to be part of the one of the NBA teams. I can't remember which
Ooh.
one it was, but a very very tall man, and was crying when he came up and talked to me afterwards because he'd said, like, for real, brother, Ninja Turtles helped me live by a code because where he grew up, he said we were really poor. He said my dad wasn't the nicest of men, so he didn't have like a solid like male figure in his life. And he'd said, the Ninja Turtles literally helped him live by that code and was basically the reason why he chose to become a teacher. You know, so he's thanking me, and I'm thanking him, right? It's just like this. It was like this win-win of having these beautiful human moments. You know what I mean?
And you get to see like the depths of how your work
Sure.
has reached so many different lives, man.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
and so I really had to sort of pay attention because I used to sort of shy away from, say, telling people, oh, hey, I was a Ninja Turtle, or hey, I played one of the Eds, or I was one of the Care Bears, or whatever. I more like it to happen organically. If someone goes like, hey, guess what this guy does, or whatever, even then I still feel like a bit of a, I don't know. It's just anyhow.
Yeah.
But being able to go in and present to people with this message gave the license to be able to say, like that, say, yo, 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 who wants to save the planet with Raphael and, and Ed as well, right? And so it gave me
Yeah.
license with like these characters that were authentic to me because I got hired to play them, which took it to like 11 in like the authenticity spectrum, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So I'm going to hand the next question over
And
to
I got to run
Blaze.
every.
Um,
Sorry.
no, you're good, Matt. We're going to hand the next question over to Blaze. I know you've got your list of questions, Blaze, so we'll just go from yours. Take the floor, my friend.
So this is a 2-for-1 question. How
Ooh.
did you get into voice acting, and how did you get the role of Ed? And this was asked
Oh,
by one
good.
of our community members as well.
Thank you, community member. Well, voice acting when I was 13, was the day that I decided I was gonna make this dream happen. Because I'd been wanting to do it my whole life. And so after getting my first agency, who literally she changed my life, because she was like, "Kid, you have no experience. I have no idea whether you're going to quote unquote, poop the bed, because you don't have any experience, but your enthusiasm levels off the charts, and you remind me of my other client, Michael J. Fox." And
Ooh.
she said, "So I'm going to take a chance on you, but you have to take an acting course so that you don't let me down taking a chance on you." So that had already, like, that catalytic moment had already happened a few years earlier, becoming an actor. And then I got a gig, playing Santa's lead elf in the Christmas display downtown. So
Nice.
before I knew it, I was already doing voices. And I got to pay my agent back 3 weeks after I did that course by doing this, this gig at Christmas time. And so really that's when voiceover kind of started, I guess, officially was around that time. But then Ed, Ed and Eddy came around, I guess, when were, that was like 19, give me the dates, fellas. It's like around 90,
I think it was
99.
around 99.
90, yeah, 90, 99, 90, yeah, okay, around that time. And um, same thing as always, as an actor, right? If you get a call back, it's like, oh, I must be getting close. Okay. So you go for another round of callbacks, right? But
Mhm.
usually you might do maybe two, maybe, like, it was almost unheard of if you ever did, say, three callbacks. But Ed, Ed and Eddy was a whole different animal because Danny had such a vision of what he wanted for this show, which I thought was brilliant. But we didn't know it at the time. So, like, I mean, we were probably on, me, Sam, and Tony, and the rest of the cast. We were probably officially on maybe the eighth callback. And like, to the point where we were all going like, okay, well, I think we must be getting close because we keep getting called back to go in and do these lines. I kept getting like the Ed sides, me and Tony and Sam, but then we realized there was like two or three other people who would file in after, so we would all sort of do this round robin thing, and not even knowing what the heck's going on because the producers and everybody is on the other side of the glass. All we're seeing is, like, Danny going like, I don't know, it's play it again or whatever. And this one day, like, I don't know why I did this, fellas. I don't prescribe it to anybody, but it literally changed my life. Something in me went, because I really didn't know. So I was like, excuse me, fellas. And I looked up because I'd already been working with the voice print a little bit, and I blew on the microphone, which you don't do, obviously, as an
Oh, no,
actor.
no.
But I
Oh.
was like, oh, excuse me, fellas, and I was like, don't, and then I was like, so you heard this thing, I go, how do you get water from this thing here? And literally, I saw Danny going like, and he's screaming at the engineer, right? I thought, oh shit, I'm already fired before I even got hired. But he was saying, did you catch that? did you record it? And the engineer's like, yeah, I did. And he's looking at me like, I'm gonna come in and kill you. Don't blow in the mic. But then he goes, play him the thing, right? And literally, I playback. Thank God, Wes recorded that, and so they caught that mistake, and I got the role of my life. So for like literally those first 13 episodes, every time I got out of Ed, Danny would be like, no, 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 no. He doesn't sound like Ed. Play him the thing. Play him the thing, right? And so for 13 episodes, I heard, how do you get water from this thing here? And so yeah, that was literally what changed it all for me, at least. And they kept bringing me back, and well, I got the part. Danny said, if you can do that, okay, you got the part, right? And and so like I say, it was so, oh my God, it was amazing. I'm so grateful that that they caught that on tape, because it was a mistake, but it literally changed my life, right?
Yeah, a blooper that changed your life.
That's a fantastic story.
Yeah,
why don't we hear
so
Blaze
cool.
try that out?
But I kept thinking I was going to get fired, because like literally, Danny had no problem basically saying, "No, you don't sound like Ed," or one of us would be picked every episode, right? We called them like we were the goat, right? Where all of a sudden it would be going really well, and then you'd be like, "No, no, no," and it like the whole thing would just grind to a halt. It's like,
Matt, it kind of. Yeah, like speaking of Danny, though, like this is a question I think everybody wants to know, because I know Danny said that he was going to take this to his grave, but I'll just actually get in good position for this. What's under Double D's hat? Can you give us a hint?
Do you want to know?
Yes, please.
I'd like to know.
What do you want to know? I was sworn. I have like a tattoo. Ow! See, they're listening. They know whenever I'm about.
Danny knows.
Say, hit the button.
Like shocks you.
Yeah. Hit the shock. So yeah, no, I don't even know. So yeah, I don't even know. You'll have to ask Sam.
Dang.
Yeah, like I wonder if Sam even knows.
I don't even. But it smells funny. Anyway, whatever. That's between him and Sam. That's okay. It is what it is,
I always thought that he just had long hair. Like he was just embarrassed that he had long hair.
Yeah. He's actually he's part Rasta. Actually, no, just kidding.
The secret of all secrets.
Yep, absolutely.
All right,
all these
Blaze.
little affectations.
Okay, so I think that's already answered that question, but did you ever ad-lib any lines in the show?
That was literally the only time, and it wasn't even an ad-lib. I don't even know why I said, like, I never ever, that line was never written, how do you get water from this thing? But it was where I realized, and that's what I loved. Danny said they wanted Ed, he's not stupid. They just wanted Ed to always be coming out of like left field, right field, top of the screen, from the below, with the way that the lines were delivered, right? Mm-hmm. And so it's funny, after like about maybe that first, I don't know, 5 or 6 episodes, they actually said, I wasn't allowed to read the script before we came in. I was allowed to sort of like just, know generally what was going to be going on. But they really wanted Ed in that respect to be completely, so I didn't basically like flying blind a lot of the time, right? Yeah. But don't ever think we never ad-libbed. If we even added like an extra like a breath, Danny would be like, "What are you doing? That's not, no, don't know," right? It was wild. But in however many episodes we did, we never had any pickups. Because they got what they needed. It was so brilliantly written. The entire team, right? Everybody just was, everybody was on fire. It was amazing, actually.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. You would be definitely shocked if you ad-libbed. we came in or we tried to do something funny, but he didn't write it. It'd just be like we get this look like, what are you doing? Like,
I mean, to be fair,
don't worry.
since I since I had been taking acting classes with my acting tutor over the last five,
Yeah.
6 years. Uh, they do say that if you don't read what's on the script, they do not like that. The writer wants to hear the words coming from the script, and if they want to change, they'll
I
make
mean,
it
for the
change
most
for you.
part, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, there's also a bunch of shows that we've all worked on that it was encouraged for us to do some ad libbing or to add some affectations, which
Mhm.
really helped to build the character out as well, right? And so, but we would conversely we would have a lot of pickups to do, down the line, right? Because they'd end up having to obviously fix it or whatever, right? No, Ed, Ed and Eddy was in Danny's brain, and that was it. It was he had everything on storyboards, everything. So every day when we came in for an episode, we would get this freaking binder that was just like thick because it was like the one-off sheets of all
Yeah.
the cartoon drawing or whatever, right? So like the sketch of it, and so it was brilliant because I've never ever had that ever again with anything else. So it was really cool.
Yeah, and speaking of
Sounds really cool.
Ed, Ed and Eddy, like I know that Danny probably wouldn't approve of this, but and there is a fan series called Peach Creek on YouTube. They're kind of like
Oh,
in thinking of like what would happen if the Eds grew up like into like high school age and then after that. And it's I don't
oh,
necessarily agree with some of the story beats that they do, but they were able to replicate the style of the show very, very well as the dynamic of the
wow.
characters. I just wasn't sure if you'd
That's
heard
so
about that
cool.
yet or before.
I'd heard there was something. I haven't seen any of it, but yeah, no, I heard that somebody was doing something. So because I guess yeah, at some point somebody was like, "Is there going to be a reunion or is there going to be like a reboot or something?" But yeah, I think like, what do they say? I think the fat lady has left the building, ladies and gentlemen. So did I
I
just
love
say
that.
fat lady? I can't believe I just said that. The fat Ed has left the building. But yeah, no, you know, because I think even if Ed, Ed and Eddie was now, I don't know, let's say they rebooted it and Danny, got us all back together, I just don't think it would be the same, and I don't think it
No.
would be a good. Like I think sometimes it's like Seinfeld. Go out when it's like you're on fire,
Yeah.
you
Or
know?
like
Yeah.
Daft Punk,
You know?
like stopping making music.
Yeah,
Like it's better for them to end it
exactly.
now than to let themselves
Leave
fall
the
into obscurity.
yeah.
Yeah,
Leave the magic for
100%.
when it was there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, exactly. It's well, it was wild because when Ed's got told that it was our last season, it was so wild because in a very self-serving way, I was about to head out on our Run for One Planet tour, and so
Oh.
for even the timing of it, I knew, wow, okay, it was amazing. So the day we did the final recording of the special or whatever, it was wild because I was like, oh my god, it's over. This is really cool, and so exciting but sad at the same time because we knew
Yeah.
everybody wanted to move on as well, I think. And so you know so it's, everything has
Yeah.
a season and a reason.
Oh
So
yeah.
so
I
Blaze,
mean,
I will toss it over to you for the checkered past one because I think Matt will be happy to hear this one. I think it's which one is that? Number
oh, okay, I got it. It's
yeah.
number 11. Adult Swim is bringing back Ed, Ed, and Eddy for the checkered past block. How does it feel knowing a new generation will get to experience the Ed adventures?
I think that's awesome. Absolutely. I think the world needs more Ed, Ed and Eddy.
Yeah, more Ed, Ed, and Eddy. Yeah.
Well, you know what I love, fellas, is where I think what makes me happy about that is because again, in selfish reasons as well, that I'm being invited to a lot of fan conventions. Obviously with a lot of the other shows, but I'd say probably Ed's probably 80% of, say, like the fan base that are out of their minds in such a good way, to go and hang out together and stuff. So it's the gift that keeps on giving, and
Heck
getting to
yeah.
do cameos as well. It's Ed, same thing. I mean, the co-founder of the entire company phoned me when he started it, and I actually thought it was a prank email. And he said, no, he's like, for real, Ed, Eddn Eddy was like my favorite show growing up, and Ed was my favorite character. And I thought, hey, I've got this thing called Cameo. Would you like to, do Ed things or whatever? And I was like, whoa, this guy's got like, I was like, yeah, I'll get behind that, And so, I've had it's been so much fun getting, to sing happy birthdays to, same thing like I was doing on the tour though, getting to, help someone get through maybe a tough time, or, so like, give them a pep talk, with Ed, and, these
Yeah.
different characters. So I'm like very, very grateful for that.
And something that kind of goes along with Cameo is recently there was a meme that was created of Ed singing Your Love by the Outfield.
I heard about that.
How do you feel about that? Like, I think that they kind of sound like you, but at the same time, like,
Yeah. Your love. Yeah.
Josie's on a vacation far away.
You
We
have
love it.
no
I have
idea.
to check that out.
You have no idea how many times Eno's tried to get me to sing that in Ed's voice.
That's like, sing it, do the thing, do it, come on.
I don't want to lose your love tonight.
Does he sound like it? Like, does he be like, I don't want to lose your love tonight? Does he sound? He sounds like Ed.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy literally, like the singer that sang that song, literally sounds like it. Even like just the basic song, it sounds just like Ed.
That's awesome. I love it. I love it. Sing on, friend.
So this next question is from another spirit character like myself. Their name is Yademis, and they're a big fan of Cardcaptor Sakura, or Cardcaptors from, I think, the original Adult Swim dub, where you played a character named Kero or Cerberus. They asked if you would be their friend because they want to be able to summon Clow too. But do you remember much about that role?
Oh yeah, I love playing Kero. He's another one that's like at the conventions has just been an amazingly popular character, because he's like this crusty little, mouse or whatever.
Floating
That
mouse.
it's so neat. And like and we modeled the character actually when I was trying to find the voice. I remember the guys. I'm like, well, what if he was like a Joe Pesci? So they wanted the attitude of Joe Pesci, but yet then and obviously not. I wouldn't swear through the whole thing, but the outtakes were unbelievable. So I wish I could. I should actually ask them if they could send me some. But the recording engineer who did those auditions, and then we did all this like the shows together. I'm sure he's got the archives somewhere because I've never heard more f bombs and drunk sounding Joe Pesci. Coming in to be Kero it was so fun. Because then we just ended up with him. Like this. He's a little punchy, right? But but he got a little off, right? They'd go, okay, do the thing. So is it okay to swear?
Yeah, you can swear.
Right?
You can swear.
So yeah. So I'd be like, yeah, Sakura, what the fuck? Come on, shit, come on, right? And then they'd be like, well, more drunk, So I'd be like, yeah, okay, all right. And it was yeah. So like Ed, I got this to build, to build this character. Sorry.
Yeah, you can swear.
Yeah,
like, we're 18 plus, so like anytime you need to say a swear word, like you can drop an F-bomb. So I'll toss it back over to you, Blaze.
This is also another from basically. Well, I'm going to be honest. This is like a lot of our questions. What is your favorite Ed movie, quote unquote, from the many episodes? Like when he's like, "This reminds me of such movie or such horror movie."
Oh man, so many fellas. No, I mean, personally, for me, what do you call it? Christmas is my favorite time of the year. And so for Ed, like for me, the Christmas movie is still for me lives inside my heart, like Elf. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like when the the scene where he's getting like the ulcer ready for what is it, gravy cakes for Santa and all,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then like he's so excited he basically rips the entire house apart by dragging the Christmas lights
Oh my
through the
gosh.
wall. He's like, I'm such a good boy, gravy cake for Santa. Oh, yummy, yum, yum. Right? It was so yeah, I'll never forget that. That was so much fun. So that, like, personally, that's my favorite one for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Am I
Uh,
still moving for you guys? My stream stuff started messing up, so am I still like animated?
Yeah, you're still moving.
Okay. So
Don't play Michael Jackson, man.
so this next question I have for you is I've been subscribed to Simon Hill's Selfie Stick Adventures for quite a few years now. What's your relation to him, and have you worked together on anything?
Well, he's actually my nephew,
Oh.
and is an
Ooh.
incredibly talented voice artist in his own right. That now actually travels for half of the year, because he's done it, taken his thing on the road. And so yeah, so he gets out of Vancouver for 6 months every year. In fact, he just left, and goes to nice warm places, and that was partly where Selfie Stick Adventures was born for that. So yeah, so go check out. So I think it's Simon Hill. I think simonhill.com. But yeah, he's my brother's kid, so that makes him my nephew, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I've been subscribed to him for a couple years now, and I love his content because it's just so cool seeing him go to all these places.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, yeah. I mean, if you reached out to him, I'm sure he'd be on your podcast if you wanted to,
Yeah,
have
hundred
something like that.
percent.
Yeah, please do. I'll even like send me a little note or whatever, and I'll connect you guys on Facebook or whatever.
Sure.
Neat.
So I'll toss it back over to Blaze for the next question here, while I try to fix my
Let me see.
interface here.
So this is was there a teacher or mentor who inspired you?
Oh yeah, my first track coach, PE teacher, literally changed my life when I um, came dead last at my first race that I trained for a year to get on the track team, and her words of saying, "Matt, just try one more run," again changed my life, and I've never forgotten that. And even physically, if I fall down, obviously I get up and dust myself off, and I try another run. And even if metaphorically, I sort of hit the dust and going through a tough period, I get up, dust myself off, and try one more time,
That's awesome.
and then, gosh, I'm so fortunate because it's like, like that. My first agent, Dorothy Boyce, I love her. She was this ex model from New York, and, she had this gravelly voice and this beautiful attitude of goodness. She's just like, ah, kid, either I'm delusional or you got something, but I got a feeling about you. So, but you got to take this acting course if I'm going to take a chance on you. She didn't have to take a chance on me, right? I mean, I
But
had
she
no
did.
skills except for
Yeah.
enthusiasm, right? But that really made something because, she could have said like, security when I showed up at her office and said, oh, hi, I'm that guy. I want to be an actor, so really very powerful mentors, 100%, and then I feel like I've been very fortunate in my life with having those around me.
Heck yeah.
See, that's awesome to hear, Matt. And just
That is
they're
awesome.
them taking a chance on you really, like, look at where
Oh,
you are now, man. You've like inspired so many people over the years,
excuse
man.
me.
Me included.
Wow.
Me
Thanks, guys.
included.
Yeah, we can look at our own lives, right? It's like I'm sure there's people who have come through for you in those moments, right? When they just gave you a word of encouragement, or even if you needed to, pull your boots up or whatever. It's like, my dad was my hero growing up, and he wouldn't even have to say anything, but he'd give me like the look, right? Of like, concentrate, focus more. If I was on the soccer field or if I was like, running track, or if I was trying to, because I didn't know it at the time. I had dyslexia pretty good, so math was just complete like it may as well be Greek to me. But my dad's work ethic always just said, you know what, all you can do is do your best, and as long as you keep studying and just trying your best, that's all you can do, right? And so for me, that's kind of been my mantra for my whole life, right? You
Yeah.
fall
Yeah.
down, get yourself up, dust yourself off, try one more time.
You found a,
You know?
1,000 ways not to build a light bulb. Well, here's the 1,001th way, or 1,001
Exactly.
way to build a light bulb, or however that phrase goes. We're getting into some
Yeah.
weird territory there.
Fine. I mean, like Run for One Planet, I've also known very much those effects of sometimes when we throw something out there, the largest that we've ever done. So for me personally, to be able to have that declaration within myself to go, okay, you know what? I have this dream to run around North America. I have no idea how we're going to actually do it, but I had enough of those earlier experiences in my life to go, you know what? One step at a time. If you face plant, get up, try again. I mean, the amount of no's that we had in the weeks that, in the year and a half before we actually took our first steps on the 11,000-mile run, from like sponsors that we were, courting for like months at a time that would, so for whatever reason, go, hey, we love what you guys are doing. You guys are so inspiring, but we don't have any sponsorship for you. But good luck. Keep us posted, right? So,
Yeah.
and I often think like the higher that you sometimes throw yourself out there, the more you're tested. I believe sometimes to make you really, really be clear on, okay, am I really in for this big dream of my life, right? And so it always allowed us to go back to basics and go, okay, yeah, you know, because we got asked that a lot, right? People going, no, but did you just feel like quitting? And I was like, no, like it wasn't about that. It was like we just needed to find a way through whatever obstacle came in our way, right? And so and same with acting, same thing, right? It's just like, okay, if like for whatever reason some of the things you're doing isn't working, okay, try something different, try it a different way, bring a different side of your character to the table. You know what I mean? So
That's kind of what I've been trying to do with Blaze is inspire him because he's had
yeah.
quite a few rejections over time, and I've been really wanting to inspire him to keep going because
Ooh,
your best day ever can be tomorrow. It could be next week. You just have to keep going.
Yeah.
100%. 100%. Absolutely. Yeah, it's funny because it's like things always do have a wild, crazy, amazing way of working out. They just might not be the way that we sort of think or the route that we think it's going to take. But if we just like keep going towards whatever is inspiring us forward, right, on this dream of our lives, something happens, and it's incredible, right? Because we realize, oh my god, we might get exactly what it is that we're wanting. We might not even get anything close to it, but if you're really, really honest with yourself, it's probably going to be better than you ever expected because it's
Yeah.
exactly what you need.
That's kind of what I'm doing
You
with the
know?
whole interview series. Like I've been interviewing from within virtual reality. So, like in your case, I'm in the cul-de-sac right now, or rather Peach
Yeah.
Creek, but I am interviewing you from within the place that Ed exists. So it's just a
Yeah.
unique little thing that I've been trying, and it's been really fun to do.
People liking it?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I've had
Right.
like lots of people compliment and say that it's really cool because, for example, I can actually move this camera around, and then you can just get kind of like a bird's eye view of
Whoa.
the area,
So cool. That's so cool.
and
Huh?
then back to me.
Very cool, man.
And it's just a way for me to also showcase this technology too. So like
Yeah.
people who haven't seen it before, it's like, hey, I'm literally in Ed Eddn Eddy right now, because technically you're
Yeah.
to my
Yeah.
left right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. And it's like stuff like that, right? Like if that's I wouldn't even know where to even start to put something like that together, right? So that's why I'm so grateful when like that you answered your whisper to go like, hey, you know what? I kind of want to take it in a different, in a new direction, right? And then look what you've created, and you know, I just think that's so cool. Because
No,
like fellas, if like the computer freezes, I'm screwed. That's how technically challenged I am.
yeah, but
Yeah.
still, like,
Like
I
look
mean,
at it.
but like for example, like my camera stuff froze, so like that's why I
Yeah.
had to ask you guys, like, hey, am I still like functional? Because like I have basically how this works is that I have an overlay inside this world that you can't see. So right in front of me is your camera, to my left is the
Oh,
questions. So that all froze
oh,
up for me. So it's basically I'm just hearing audio at this point, um, but it's okay.
Yeah.
well, looks
Um,
awesome.
yeah, thank you so much, Matt. It means a lot to hear that. So I've just got a few more questions here, and then we'll start answering some questions from the audience, if that's okay with you.
Heck yeah.
All right.
Heck
So
yeah.
let's see. I think we've just got one more on my list here. Oh, so this one, I asked another voice actor the other day about this one, and it is a bit of a controversial one, but it's good to hear people's opinions from within the industry about this sort of thing. So, with the rise of AI voice cloning in the last 2 years, what are your thoughts about people being able to just perfectly replicate your voice without your permission?
Yeah, it's funny. For so long, I was like, ah, man, you know, any big new technological, you know, thing that's going to take over the world. I used to be like, don't understand it, so don't really want to talk about it. But at the same time, then now in this last while, like the very fact that, like, say, like the the SEG after strike was literally around these what you just said. That's a big
Mhm.
wake up call. Like, holy crap. Um, and at the same time, I think we really need to be in charge of our, I don't know, like just what we sort of are okay with being to be able to just be out there. And at the same time, I'll be honest with you, I have no idea because I don't know if is like when the internet was first coming out, were people, you know what I mean? Like, was it, were people thinking maybe it was gonna like, take over the world for nefarious, uses? And I guess AI, I guess maybe that's the next realm of, you know, this technology expanding so rapidly. But I guess, yeah, I don't know. I guess I mean, it's something that we just have to be very, I guess, as aware as we can through it. Um, but yeah, I'll be honest with you. When it was such a huge sticking point with the strike negotiations, that's when I really sat up and started to pay attention because I was like, wow, that kind of is a big deal. So really, yeah. I mean, I don't know what to say, to be honest with you, because it's obviously here, but I guess maybe we have the abilities to maybe have some parameters around it, like like that with capturing images or someone's likeness. I don't think that's cool. Um, and I guess at the end of the day, how are we ever gonna be able to police something like that? I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
and
I
sometimes it
think we,
can be used for good because I don't know if you watched the
yeah.
recent Obi-Wan Kenobi series on Disney Plus, but James Earl Jones is retiring from the role of Darth Vader, so he signed off his vocal
Mm,
rights to the character over to
right,
Lucasfilm. So they used
right.
voice clips from James Earl Jones to replicate his voice with Christensen's performance as Darth Vader. So it was all Hayden,
That's
but
cool.
it sounded like James Earl
Yeah,
Jones. But there was
right,
consent
right.
involved.
Yeah, and that's the difference, right? It's that's a beautiful example because I think as long as someone has consent around it, I think that's amazing, right? And so it can be used for such good things like that. Um, and I guess when people say we're going to lose that human element, if if that's all we ever rely on is something that's artificially produced, that's where I believe as a species we miss out
Oh
because
yeah.
we then seem to go like, oh yeah, you know what, that's okay, it didn't really totally look or sound like the person at the end of the day. Um, yeah, I don't know. I guess there's gonna be a bit there's gonna be both, right?
Yeah, because
Like
they did it
honorable
this.
stuff and not.
Yeah, they did it the same with like Mark Hamill and Luke Skywalker. Like they
Right.
like deep faked his face to where it was young Luke, and then they had uh, Mark Hamill's old voice clips to replicate his younger voice, and he still portrayed the character. So it's cool to see the
Right.
technology used in a good way, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's like everything, right? It's like technology's here, and I think it's up to us to try and make it the best that we can make it in terms of a good experience, and and for doing good things. That's just that's my personal place I like to live.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's all the questions that I have on my list, unless you've got some more, Blaze.
Uh, well, this is kind of one that I had, but I lost my phone, my old phone. It had all my old questions on it, but I remember this one. How would one go about getting into voice acting or even acting in general? And about demo reels, how would you go about making one of those?
Oh, wow, that's the million. It's everybody's gonna be at different points in their journey, obviously.
Hmm.
I think in many ways this is one of the best times that if you really are getting in on, say, this voiceover biz, it's perfect because just your own iPhone or your own smartphone, you find a quiet place to practice your voices and stuff, and you can be submitting for pretty much as much stuff as, say, I'm submitting for, right? And so because that whole side of it have completely been turned up on its head. So because all auditions now in the last few years are 100% all MP3s. And if
Yeah.
so basically everybody's in the same pot together, so I'd
Mm,
say, just like always, create the characters that are living inside your voice, or sorry, inside your head.
of course.
And just like get it out there. If you feel like taking some training, take some training. If you feel like joining a voiceover class, join a voice class. If you say screw that to all that stuff and you're just gonna get you know, if someone's set up to be able to get their stuff out there, and like in many ways, there's no barrier to entry right now, which I think is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Because then I don't know, it inspires everybody, right? Because there's so many different ways that, like, even 10 years ago a show would get greenlit. Now, right, if you have an incredible following online, you could be just making your own stuff, and then before you know it, studios are coming to you going like, we would really like you to do this show and we want to support it. So I mean, it's because you come in with a built-in audience already, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's
It
awesome.
actually it actually kind of goes back to because I used to also be a graphic artist. I used to like draw and stuff like that back in the day. And I even
Right.
met a pretty profound comic book artist. And I showed him some of my work, and he's like, "Wow, this stuff is quite impressive. Like nowadays, you could
Mhm.
actually easily get into the field without having a lot of excess schooling if you don't really need it, of course. But you know." And it was just
Yeah.
when he said that to me, it gave me a little boost of confidence in that kind of a field as well. So
Oh, absolutely. Oh yeah. No, that's
And
the
you did
thing.
the same
It's
thing with me, Matt. Like with the when I did the radio thing a couple years back, and you were like, "Dude, radio's awesome," and you inspired me to continue going with radio, and it was just really cool. Like, because obviously we're friends on Facebook, and I've seen your posts every now and again. But like, it was back in 2018. You were just said like, "Yeah, my college radio show was awesome," and like that inspiration
oh
really helped me to get to where I am right now and feel more confident in my own
yeah,
skin and my own voice. Um,
yeah,
because I think the biggest struggle that I've had over the years is like when I was first starting out, people would say like, "Oh, your voice is nasally. Oh, your voice is terrible,"
right.
but it's like I'm learning to accept compliments about that stuff now, and I'm being comfortable with my voice, and I really owe a lot of that to when you were encouraging me back when I did the radio thing.
Well, that's awesome, man. That's so good to know, man. Thank you for that, because that's like, again, it lays in that same sort of like a theme of what we're all here to do, and that's like answer the whisper that's inside. all of our dreams, right? And so, just like I feel so grateful that I showed up to this dream, and I had people that just went like, hey kid, you kind of suck right now, but you got a lot of enthusiasm. So, like just get some training or get, like to get better. And I'm hoping it sounds like we've all had more people that have been on the side of the fence that go like, well done, keep going. It sounds great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
not everybody does have those people that come into their lives, but I think we all have that possibility, I think, because you just gotta keep answering the dream, right? Answer the whisper, and people will be your cheering section, and people will help in ways that you never even thought, right? And the
Yeah.
biggest thing is to share your dreams too with others, for sure.
Yeah.
And this is my dream, being able to talk to people from across the industry
Yeah.
and just from different walks of life on this podcast or, well, radio podcast, in this avatar, being in the worlds that a voice actor portrayed in. So, like the cul-de-sac, or in other instances, I've been in other video game worlds. Like it's cool because I get to share with that experience with everybody, not just with the actors, but with everybody. And that's my dream,
Yeah.
is to
Yeah. Yeah.
make this like more of like an established genre, if you will.
For sure. Oh yeah. No, for sure, man.
So I think I will set it off to the audience now. So we'll start taking questions from the audience. I have been reading the chat. So if anybody has questions that I might have missed, go ahead and repeat them now. You feel free to comment them, and we will start taking a look.
And that also goes well for my community as well. If you have questions, you feel free to post them. I do have one thing. Somebody actually said, I wonder how it felt eating the mattress.
Oh yeah. Before we get to the questions, so Blazing on his stream, he does this. He has a sound alert where it's Eddie going, "Now eat your mattress." And something that we did and joked about was getting you both to do it after I said, "Eat your mattress." Can we do that, please, Matt?
Oh my god. Yes, that's so funny.
So the line was like, Ed goes, "Yum," and then eats the mattress.
Yum!
Like, that hit the spot.
Oh
He goes,
that is the spot.
All right, so
and then
whenever I
that's
say,
great.
after I say, "Now eat your mattress," like both of you do it at the same time. So, now eat your mattress.
Yum! Oh, that hit the
Oh,
spot.
that hit the spot.
Ah, that was a good tasting mattress.
That's a very good one.
The Ed apocalypse.
Yeah,
That's
apocalypse.
Oh, so good.
So, Cranberry
Thank
Foe
you.
from my community says, "Oh, I know this is selfish, but I loved Ninja Turtles when I was a young girl. Would it be unreasonable to ask Raphael to greet me, Genki, the grappling hook girl?"
Genki, the grappling hook girl.
Yes.
Beautiful. Hey, yo, 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 Genki, the grappling hook girl. Keep reaching for your dreams, sister. Keep believing in yourself. And live by your own code as well. You're a superstar.
That's awesome. I can't wait to see her response on that.
Nice.
So do you have any questions in your chat as well, Blaze?
At the moment, no.
Okay. Like I said, chat, just send me some questions and I will ask them. Because this will be like the wrapping up period, because I know you said you had about an hour.
Yeah. Get up.
Well, I guess while we wait for that, so what are you working on now, Matt? Like, what are your plans, like, for the next few months or even the next year? Like, are you working on anything?
Yeah, I've got some. Well, I'm writing my first book, which has been in play for about 3 years, and so I'm officially in the last chapter of writing this journey of my life, and so The loose title is Lessons My Feet Taught Me Being a Voice for Change. So it's basically like life stories from my life and, a lot of this stuff that we've been talking about. So it's, kind of my insider look at, I guess, at the halfway point at this point. And at least I hope it's the halfway point, but, and then just attending as many conventions as I can possibly attend for me is it's such a gift, and so that looks like it's about to go into high gear here in this next couple months, and so coming to a con near you, and I'll be posting a lot more about that sort of stuff. So because it's like, yeah, it's just after having a couple of years where we didn't really go very far anywhere, obviously, especially with COVID and stuff.
Yeah.
It's just so, oh my God, I just realized how much I miss being in person with people, So, but yeah, I have a convention in Midland, Texas,
Oh, close
called
by.
Permian Con, and yeah, that's in December 8th to 10th.
Nice, nice.
Oh, is that close to you guys?
Yeah, relatively. It's within a day's drive, at least for me.
Oh, yeah, that's great. It's
14
like
hours
street,
probably for me. I'm just a little bit further up.
Yeah.
Way up there.
But yeah, I mean that's really it's been keeping me super busy, and it's neat because like I said, it's a neat way to be able to test the waters as well, with the people who hopefully will be reading the book as well, or obviously beautiful sparkly people like you guys. And
Yeah, I'll definitely be
my
buying a copy because I want to support your work because you're supporting my
Heck yeah.
work, and I really want to read
absolutely,
it.
man.
I
will
do
keep
too.
you fellas posted.
Yeah. Keep a fellow Ed posted.
Absolutely.
So the next one is from Kit Williams, author. I'm curious if Matt knows, I think it's Greg Sipes, the voice of Beast Boy, because of their similar outlooks on life.
I don't know that person. Is he's in Vancouver?
I'm not sure myself. I'm not sure. I'm not really too familiar with Beast Boy myself, but if he's a kindred spirit, might be somebody to look into.
Maybe. Yeah, absolutely.
So this next one is from Big Something. What is the best memory you have within the voice acting scene, and why is it so significant?
Oh wow, that's a big one. I think in many ways it's like some of the stuff we talked about already with these really cool experiences working with the people that I've gotten to work with over these years. Because not only have we been able, we've been so fortunate to have, be able to continue to call ourselves working actors and actresses, but then we've also built up incredible friendships over these, because over 30 years, right, you go through some stuff together, and then so it's really important that then when we are able to get together, it's just like no time has gone by at all. You know what I mean? And so yeah, especially this last few years, I really realized that what we do, and I used to know it was important, but I used to think like by saying it was important that I was trying to make myself more important than it sounds like it is. But I realized that all of our work that we're here to do in this life is, if it lights us up and it makes us feel happy and it shares good things with other people, then it should be celebrated, right?
Yeah.
And so really that's, I guess in many ways that's sort of been a big fundamental shift. And so I'm a lot more, because I used to not sort of share, what I was up to or whatever. I would feel like a total dork unless somebody asked. But now I post it and say like, hey, here's what's going on, or I'm going there, or I'm going to be meeting these people over here, and say with the journey with writing my life story, I 10 years ago I would have never really shared a lot of this stuff on it. But I feel like it's almost like my duty to share, because if I want people to also read what I've written, I gotta have that courage to be able to say, okay, here's my story. It's written with a lot of love and a lot of authenticity. So, if you're inspired by it, or if it makes you laugh, or it makes you cry, or if it makes you believe in yourself and your own journey even more, that to me is I've done a successful, sharing.
See, that's that. Like I said, Matt, you've been just such a huge inspiration for me personally, and it looks like one of my chat members also has a similar outlook. Mr. Matt Hill, you are a blessing to the world. Thank you for every character you've given life to, and to humor the interview. Trenzy Game asks, "Do you look back in your life and love what you see?"
You know what? Yes, I do. And it's funny. I used to feel like an idiot like that. Same thing, saying like I loved what I saw, but I really do. And it's taken me a few years to be like, yeah, like I'm proud of the work that I've been blessed to be able to do. Um, because I've realized for so long I didn't allow myself to actually celebrate being celebrated, because I didn't want to have a big ego or whatever. I told myself that I couldn't allow myself to celebrate, right? But that's just like, dude, we all do great work. We should celebrate it, and we should allow others to celebrate us in it too, right?
Yeah.
Especially if these characters really resonate with a lot of people, then fill your boots.
I
you
mean,
know?
honestly, honestly, um, I'm pretty much the same in that regard. Like, I try not to get too big of a head. Like, if I do like a really good job on something and somebody gives like a high praise to it, I'm like, well, thanks, And it's like I always credit everybody, like who's like my support groups and everybody who's around, of course. And I'm like, yeah, without you guys, I wouldn't be where I'm at. So,
Oh, thank you, Blaze.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's
it's
true,
no,
right? It's
no
all of
trouble.
us. Like,
Yeah, it's
without our
true.
moving parts, right? We really, it'd be pretty lonely if we didn't have anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So this one is from Kit Williams, author. Who's an actor, live action or voice, you would like to work with? Whether it be like, like just throw an example, James Earl Jones or Keanu Reeves or somebody. Like, is there anybody specific you'd like to work with?
That's so funny. Those two specifically, yes and yes. I've always wanted to do like a voiceover with James Earl Jones. That voice is just like, he just seems to be just one of the coolest guys on the planet. And then I've always wanted to work with Tom Hanks. And
Ooh.
Ooh, that's a good one.
well, especially with sort of like my own version of being Forrest Gump within myself. I thought about Tom a lot on the tour, right? Because just when I'd be thinking like, oh my God, I'm like on day whatever. Nobody knows we're out here. I'm tired. I'm hungry. My heart was still full with our message, but right, I'm human too. And then just out of nowhere, I'd literally hear in the distance, I'd hear a car go by, and I literally like probably 100 times on the tour, I'd hear like, beep 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 beep, run, Forrest, run, right? And so I'd just be like, what? Right? And so for me, it was always my confirmation that all right, I'm on the path. Just keep running. And
Yeah.
so hopefully that we were hoping to connect with Mr. Hanks when we ran through LA, but that it wasn't meant to be in that moment. But hopefully,
Well,
so
hey, never say
anybody
never.
Everybody knows
Yeah.
Tommy, they gotta get Matt. Love to meet up
We
with them.
got to get Ed with Tom.
Oh, do you imagine? Just like, hi, Monday.
So this next
Who
one is
knows?
from Cranberry. Uh, During the course of Ed, Ed, and Eddy, how much was the total cost of all the property damage the Eds caused to the cul-de-sac?
Oh,
Oh no! Well, is this in Canadian currency or USD? But either way,
Billions.
oh,
Billions.
millions.
Probably like a
1 million.
billion, probably $11 billion. I bet, yeah.
I mean, especially since Ed ended up ripping the support beam from Johnny's house.
Oh yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Well, let's not
Saying,
forget
you know?
Eddie also ate the
What's a
sun.
support beam?
Yeah, yeah, what's a support beam? Kick my feet. Kick my feet. Dig a hole. Dig a hole.
I am
Or-
a woodpecker. Sup with dirt.
Or like the bit where Ed was the monster and then he just destroys the entire cul-de-sac.
That's a bit, right? Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%, man, 100%.
Heck yeah.
I wonder who's going to fit that bill. Like, I mean, 25 cents for a
Oh,
jawbreaker that size, that is cheap. Like I've seen people try to recreate it and you can't fit that stuff in your mouth. Like you have to layer it out.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and it's just great to like talk about these moments because like we have like you, of course, Matt, like you were involved with the project and you were like you played the role, but then you also get to talk to us who have the nostalgia for those roles that you've done, and it's just all of what we've done in our lives has led us to this moment right here, and I think it's, in my opinion, I think it's meant to happen. You know?
Well, 100%, absolutely. You know, it's you know, and I think in many ways, I can't believe 25 years has gone under the, you know, river of life. You know, when we first premiered Ed, Eddn Eddy, because it's 25th anniversary this coming up this year.
Yeah.
It absolutely blows my mind because I'm like, what? Like, you know, with obviously all the other stuff as well, but this show in particular has resonated with so many people, you know, and I didn't really get it I mean, yeah, I heard, you know, we'd hear from the producers, yeah, we're number one in, you know, blah blah blah, all these different countries, or we're, you know, this and that, and we've got, you know, this millions of hundreds of millions of people watching the show every week, and but it never really dawned on me. I just thought, well, we're pretty popular. I had no freaking idea. You know, I mean, this show was like, you know, next level. And again, I had that incredible insight into just how popular. Thank God I got cast with Ed from that, you know, mistake. To then be able to, like, you know, talk to like 100,000 kids in person on our Run for One Planet tour, right? And so, because that's where I literally gave myself permission to like let Ed be the best Ed I could possibly do to share our message with these kids. Because, you know, like, you know, and Raphael, same thing, right? It's like those two, especially in that moment, literally, if it's one thing that's has left with me to this day, is the true authenticity of people saying like, no, for real, wow, thank you for playing that role, or thank you for playing that, you know, like those roles, because it made such a huge difference in our lives, right? And I really get it now. So now for me, I'm like, I'll go everywhere. Just invite me. That's all I need, you know? And so to me, it's a really cool way of, I guess in many ways, I get to do a tour, um, but I don't have to do all the running now. I can just run to stay in shape, and the places that I go to meet the fans at these fan events. And it's like, to me, you know, again, it's the greatest gift of, you know, being able to celebrate these roles. It's just like, it means the world to me, you know? So
Yeah, and it means the world to us as well because your roles meant so much to like Cranberry and chat, me as a person with Ed, and then of course Blaze, who was so inspired by your role that he does voice impressions. And that was what started our friendship, because if it wasn't for your role as Ed, we would have never met.
Well, you are welcome, fellas.
Just
kidding. I love it so much.
Thank you.
So good. Absolutely.
So I think Kit Williams has one more question. Have you ever thought about doing theater work?
Theater. That's such a great question. Yes, actually, because that's one nut that I haven't cracked yet. And it's funny. It's such a great. Well, thank you for that question, because it basically allows me to continue to start to open up that side of it, because I've always wanted to do like a Broadway show, not a musical. I have no idea what it would be, but something that's like, so I can like be there, and there's just something about, maybe doing a long run of a play would just be it'd be just unbelievable. Doesn't matter. LA, New York, Chicago.
Yeah.
See, I'd love to see you do theater, because
I would love to see
some
it.
of the other people that we've had.
Opera.
Oh, opera, yes. Some of the other voice actors that I've had on the stream, they've all like talked about how like theater was a big inspiration for them. So like, I think you would rock it if you went into theater. Like, I'm not just saying that just to say that. Like, I really think you would just rock the house if you went and did theater.
It's great. Thank you, because I remember having one, because I actually did go for an audition for like a long time ago. And I had the opposite experience of I think I might have got like 4 lines of the monologue that I'd prepared. And it was the classic, like, I couldn't even see because the light was so bright on you're in the center stage. And there's people watching your every move and everything.
Yeah.
I got about 30 seconds in, and I heard this, excuse me, you're really not right for this role. Maybe you should continue to do something different in acting, which was essentially like, shut up, you're wasting your time. And so in that moment, I thought, maybe I'm not a very good actor, right? And so it's neat, because it's taken a long time to be able to come around going like, no. They just hadn't seen what I was capable of in that moment. And, and my confidence wasn't very high in say stuff like that, right? So, so thanks for bringing it up, because so that's still on the marquee for me then. All right, okay, you heard it first.
Look forward
first
to seeing
directly
it.
from Ino's realm and Prismatic Blaze.
Heck yeah.
So
I look forward to it.
I think that's all the questions in chat, unless there's some final ones. But I do have one thing, like for another friend of mine. Their name is Yademus. They are another spirit character like myself, and their favorite character is Kero from Cardcaptors, like in the question earlier. And well, they asked if Kero would be their friend because they want to summon Clow too.
Absolutely. You got the backstory on Kero, so you know what? You could be totally his friend. I'll be your friend forever. And if I could give you access to the cloud, I don't know if I can, but whatever that is for you, go get it.
They're gonna love that. Thank you so much, Matt.
Thank you.
All right, so since it looks like that's all the questions, do you have any closing thoughts for us today, Matt?
Just keep believing in yourself. Like, I think in many ways, be kind to yourself, be kind to each other, be kind to this earth while we're here, because, as we all know, proverbially, we're not here for a billion years. Sometimes I wish we were, but you know what I mean? Like, make it just light it up while we're here. And, I really feel that's like, if at any time in our current history and story, this is our moment once again, say as like Christmas is coming around and a new year is coming, there's so many new possibilities to, shine your light, man. So, I'll promise I'll keep shining my light, and you guys all keep promise to shine your light as well. And, and thanks for having me. It's an honor.
Yeah, it absolutely is an honor to have you on here, Matt.
It was an honor.
Hey, whenever I get this all edited together, I'll send it your way, and just spread the love, man. Like, spread it however.
Absolutely.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And as I think our buddy Ed would say, right? He'd be like, and don't forget to remember that you are important and that you're very sparkly like butter toast, as well as your favorite thing like gravy and jawbreakers too. Okay, so for real.
Don't forget the chunky puffs.
Oh yeah, the chunky puffs.
That's it. I'm gonna go have some for dinner.
Oh, I'm coming to your house for dinner. I want some chunky puffs.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me, man.
And thank you so much, Matt. Like, I wish you all the best, dude. And like, I'll stay in touch with you. Send you an email every now and again, like, just see how you're doing.
Absolutely. Yeah, we do. We can do like another one in like a year or two, whatever.
Yeah,
or
absolutely.
like
I'd be down.
Absolutely. All right, fellas.
All right, fare thee well, my friend. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving and Merry Christmas and Happy Chanukah.
Yeah.
And a Happy New Year.
Of course.
Happy New Year. All right, fellas. Thanks again, hey?
See you later, Matt. Thank you so much.
Hey, guys.
All right, everybody. So that was Matt Hill, the voice of Ed from Ed, Eddn Eddy, as well as Kero from Cardcaptor Sakura and Soarin from My Little Pony, among many other roles. So, how do you feel, Blaze?
With my hands.
Oh, well, obviously smart ass, but well, how do you feel after this interview, and like, how do you feel about?
Oh, it's fantastic. It definitely gave me the information that I needed.
And the confidence as well.
In the confidence, indeed, yes.
But really, thank you all for joining me in my realm tonight. And Blaze in joining me in my realm and me joining him in his. And well,
yeah,
I'll be seeing you all in the next stream, which will probably be Final Fantasy VI. So, bye-bye, everybody!
Until next time, my friends, stay tuned.
And eat
have
your
a
mattress.
wonderful rest of your day. Yum!
Oh!